Hi, welcome to Welch Family Homestead. Let's talk about setting up your bees. It's not that hard. There are some steps, but let's walk you through them, make it easy for you. Welcome. Okay, we're going to set up 2 new hives today. And I'm going to show you every step of the way as we go through this to make it easier on you, and hope that you enjoy the experience this morning. Okay, now we're going to actually install starter package inside of a new hive. Okay, I want to do it a little differently because I want to get a boost on it since it's May. Obviously, having the smoke going, you want to keep it going good. This keeps the bees calm. Welcome to Welch Family Homestead. I have 2 hives that I'm going to be setting up. This hive will have 1 queen, that hive will have 1 queen. This tape is connected to the bean pod that holds the queen. And there's a little box in there that's screened that has the queen in it. And I'm gonna show that to you next. You notice they're very healthy. These actually came from Barnyard Bees in Chatsworth, Georgia. Give them a good shout out. I'll leave their link in the description below. Very healthy Italian gentle bees. I picked them up yesterday. They did not get mailed, and they have a few dead ones in the bottom, but not many. I'm very pleased with the packages. This package here, I purchased extra. It does not have a queen in it, but it gives me a total of 6 pounds of bees, worker bees, with 1 queen per hive. That means that I'm 3 pounds ahead of brood already hatched. So I couldn't get a nuke, so I got 6 pounds of bees and 1 queen. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the queen out, and if you'll notice, the bees are everywhere. So the way that you take the queen out, you want to shake it. It's not going to hurt them. It's not going to make them angry. In fact, in the bee yards, they do that on a consistent basis to get them used to it. So what I'll do is I'm basically going to get it down like this. Now obviously there's a feeder box in here still. Already got most of them knocked down. You can see they're trying to get back up. Let's get the queen out. Now we got to turn it over to get the feeder out. I'm going to do it upside down one time. There we go. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna bump it one more time. I got the queen out now, and now they're capped back off. Let me show you the queen. She's marked in yellow. You see her right in there. She has some friends. Now, this is candy right in here where she can eat through and the bees can eat through to her. There's a cork right here that I'm going to remove. So that they can eat away at that candy and help her out. The one thing you don't want to do is leave that cork in, or she'll starve and she'll be neglected. There's the cork right there. So let's put the queen in the hive. I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull off this tape strap. No, I don't have my gloves on, but I'll put them on momentarily. I'm going to put the queen 4 frames over. Now I have some frames that I have foundations in. These are wax coated foundations. And then I have every other one, so 5 and 5. These have fishing line through them, no foundation, but there is a strip of beeswax foundation at the very top. The gentleman that works over at Barnyard Bees put this together. He makes these, he does a great job. I actually like these frames better than what comes from Busy Bees. Busy Bees, their frames is a little short on the ends, and sometimes they fall down into the hives. And I'm going to get this, I'm going to place this queen on the bottom. Now don't place her like this. You want to make sure when you're placing the queen, place her like this on the bottom. Okay, and we're going to set her right down inside the hive, 4 frames over in the brooder box. This is a 10 frame hive. As you can see, that one next to it kind of barely catches the edge. So now we're ready to dump these bees and these bees into this hive. And I don't have the camera behind me because this is a slope. And if I put the camera down there, you're looking up and you can't see down on what I'm doing. So let's dump these bees into the hive, just for safety purposes, because you're watching me on video. I'll go ahead and put the gloves on. I don't normally even wear a suit, so forgive me. I'm not trying to be unsafe or set the wrong example. I'm just comfortable around the bees. And yes, you can get stung occasionally. It's very normal. My daughter got stung yesterday while she was helping me at the bee yard. It happens. But as long as you're not allergic, you should be okay. And these bees right here are Italian bees. They're gentle. They usually won't sting you. It's very hot today. I wish I wasn't even wearing the suit. But for demonstration purposes, this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to, again, knock these down a little bit. And then we'll pull this feeder out. And we're going to let these go in here where the queen's at. Now this does not hurt them at all when you shake them up or you tap on it. You'll notice them, they're going to march right down toward the queen and make themselves at home in this hive. Let's give them just an opportunity. Watch the march. Notice they're not going away. They're all staying there together. Beautiful bees. You notice this is my garden in the background. This set of bees that I'm placing here on this apiary is going to be helping with the garden. And have about 56 acres here. And our ultimate goal is to have approximately 1,500 hives total. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to see how to load the bees into the hive from a starter package. If this was a nuke, it would already have some frames that had brood in them and what have you. These are harvested queen and a harvested group of worker bees. It's important to stay calm and enjoy the process too. And one of the things you always want to be careful with is them stinging your face. Obviously they're going to go to the highest spot possible when they're going to sting, if they are going to sting. You notice they're not even trying to sting me. But if they did, the one place they could probably get me better than anything is my big nose, because my nose will touch the front of this. They're doing really good. They can still smell the queen in the box. So if you notice some of them getting on the box. We want to get them there as quickly as possible so that they're working toward getting to their queen. Let's go ahead and put this other 3 pounds or so. It's more like 4 pounds, but they're very generous over at Barnyard Bees, making sure they give you more than what you're actually ordering. Now there's going to be a few dead ones. The most optimal way to do this would be to set these on the ground. Instead of dumping them on top, you can just put the whole hive together, dump them in the front after you put the queen inside, and they'll march straight in. This is the back of the box. The front, the landing is on the front. And again, in the brood box, they're deep. This is a wax coated frame. Every other one is a wax coated frame, and one with just fishing line in it. You don't ever put the two with fishing line next to each other. You want one of these in between each one, because if you don't, what will happen, let me pull one out and I'll show you. Here one is. I want to get the same size. So this is one with just the cone at the top. It's hot, so the cone is soft right now. That's wax, real wax from the bees. And you can see the fishing line. You want one of these and then one of these, one of these, one of these. Because if you put two of these side by side, they'll build out wide and they'll connect two of them together. This keeps it more uniform by putting every other one a foundation. These are wax coated foundations. You see the bees love it because they're already getting on it. And these have a wax top starter for them to get started. And these are actually made at Barnyard Bees. These were ordered at the Busy Bees. Now, the only thing that I didn't do is smoke them. So I want you to watch now that they got this point. I normally smoke them before I ever take them out of the box to calm them down, but I want you to see how calm these bees are. Now watch when I do this. Watch how they go down quickly. They're very uniform. They're going to fill out that colony nicely and start building brood. Very nice. We want them to go all the way in. See how they're marching out of the box? They're coming out of the box, they're looking for their queen. They know she's in there. You're saying, would I do this if I didn't have the gloves on? Yeah, I would. Very healthy bees. Look at this. Very few died on the process of transport. Again, I brought these here. In my car. Now while those are calming down and going on down, this is the feeder that I've mixed up. Now this first batch of feeder is not sugar and water. This is actually raw honey, organic honey and water. And I did add some HBH, which is Honeybee Healthy, which has essential oils in it, has some peppermint in it, has some lemon grass. It's very good to help build the nucs, to get them moving forward faster. It attracts them to the feed and they'll eat better. And I'll put the feeder on here at the last moment. I want to explain that first. So let's get ready to install the other hive. Hive number 2. And again, every other one of these doesn't have a foundation. It has this set up with the fishing wire, fishing string. Helps them to build off of it. And the next one will be just foundation coating. Now these are all registered bees. They have a health certificate. Everything's done according to the Department of Agriculture and done correctly. You can see here the Barnyard Bees health certificate is on each box. Now remember, we have to shake them down. We have to turn over on its side, get the feeder out, and get the queen out, okay? So we got to shake it down first. And we got to turn it over here, almost like that. If you'll notice. Now I'm going to get the queen. Don't want to squish any of them. Hard to do with gloves on, but we did it. Okay. So I have the queen. We'll put her in the hive first, like I did before. Never forget to remove the cork. They can't eat through the cork, but they can eat through the candy and help her out. Like to do the fourth one over. Put the queen in the bottom. One side of it has enough wax on it to stick it. Good. And that's where she'll be. Now, hold on, let me show this to you again. This queen is also marked yellow. Now I'll check on these every day, but I'm gonna not bother with pulling her out to check her for a few days. Make sure she's left the box. I'm sweating, it's hot. Now let's dump these onto her and give her her family back. Okay? Look at all the bees. Doing good. Calm down and go down in your, meet your queen. The pine needles. If you don't get those out, they'll be covered with honey. They'll drag them down in there and you'll have a honeycomb with a pine needle in it. Now this one is a problem. Let me tell you why, because the feeder fell down in the box. So I'm not going to try to shake them down, I'm just going to pour it out. Notice I'm using my hand. Let's get these in here. Let's not shake it because I'm afraid that feeder is going to do damage to them. Something I don't normally do because of that feed being stuck down in there. We'll see if I can get the feeder out. So I'm going to destroy the box. So that I can save bees. There we go. Okay, we did good with that, considering. I'm glad it went this way. That way you can see that you just figure out a solution and you go with it. Any type of farm activity, you're not going to have a perfect case scenario, but you can figure it out. All I did was I cut a hole in the screen, reached in and grabbed it, because the last thing I want to do for that can to roll around and hurt or kill some of the bees. You'll notice the center bar here came loose and the can fell down. That was what happened. And everything's lightweight, make it easier to ship, even though I didn't have them shipped. They're set up to ship. You can order these in the mail. They'll come to your post office box. I chose to drive 2.5 hours one way to go ahead and get them. That way I knew I'd have. There's a drone right here. Beautiful drone. Gorgeous drone. There's another drone. There's another drone. We're gonna have a beautiful brood out of these. Most of these have gone in now on this side. Some of them are hanging out on the outside, still searching for their queen. They're looking good. and they'll figure it out. This is new territory for them. There's a drone, another drone. There's a drone right here. I almost caught it. I was going to show it to you. Okay, most of these are out of the box. A few more right here. Okay. Now, loading both of these boxes up next to each other, you're going to have some that will leave their colony and go here, and some will leave their colony and go there, but it'll leave it out. All in all, it'll make them healthier as they make their own choice. Now, the next thing I'll tell you is, once this part's done, you can put a queen excluder on here so that the worker bees can get up and down between the super and the brood box. But the queen has to stay in the brood box with a queen excluder, and it keeps all the brood down here. I'm not going to worry about putting the queen excluder on, either one of them. I want them to have free reign for right now. I think the queen will be happy down in the bottom. Don't think she's gonna be looking to go anywhere. If I see a lot of brood starting to build above, I'll just add another super. These are going in nicely. Very good. I'll be able to add the super on this one. And this hive will be complete. It is hot today. This is May 5th, but it feels like July 4th. Make sure all your boxes are lined up, as well as your entrance. Where you start adding a lot more. The reason I'm not pouring the feed yet is because I want to get all the top on before I open up everything, because they'll be attacking it. This has essential oils in it that are going to attract them to the feeder mixture. I'm not feeding them sugar and water. I'm feeding them raw organic honey and water, spring water, not chlorinated water. Do not do chemicals on your bees. If you do, you're defeating the purpose of nature. Keep them all natural. Keep everything organic. It's okay to feed them, but you want to feed them purity. You do feed them any sugar, use raw sugars. Don't use white granulated sugars. Yes, white granulated sugar is cheaper and it's easier to get, but there's a drone right here. There's a drone right here. See it? Beautiful drone. Now, a drone can't sting you. They don't have stingers. They're the male of the tribe. They're the male of the hive, and they only mate with a queen. That's their sole purpose. They do not sting. They have no stinger. They're the only males in the entire colony, and they're so gentle. The drones are just absolutely amazing. They don't go around collect pollen or anything. They just mate with a queen. That's their responsibility. About ready to put the super on this one. Don't want to crush any of them, but they're looking really good. Really good. So let's add the super box on this one. The super box is not as deep, you see, as the brood box. The brood box is where they're going to lay eggs, and the super box is where they're going to make honey. And we're going to do it gently and get them off the edge so that we have very few casualties. Now, if you do get stung, and it can happen, plan for it. Imagine it. And if you get stung, don't jerk, because you could knock the whole thing over. Now, I've done this whole process today and haven't gotten stung at all. Go on down in there where I can finish you up. Again, we're going to put the super hive on next. I find that method of adding it minimizes how many that I hurt and crush. Now, once that's on there, this is the lid where the feeder is going to go. You can do it this way or this way. It has a telescoping lid. Just give it a little bit more space up under it. Just turn it this way. These are already making their way up to the honey supers. They're going to be looking for that food. Now let's feed them. We're ready to feed them. Now this feeder, I like it. Let me show you how it works. basically you're going to pour the feed in here, the solution. This lines up in the hole, and this sets over it. Now, sometimes you'll buy these, and it won't set down well enough, and you have to clip them. I had to clip these, so this would set down further. You want it to leak under it, but you don't want it to have a big enough space where they can crawl out from under it, or they'll drown, and you'll have a lot of dead bees. So this is a perfect, you see where it's been chipped away at to make it lay down a little better. You want it to have the nectar that we're pouring in here to where you can feed them, help them get started. You set it just like this. Pour it in there, and you put the lid on it. When you put the lid on it, it keeps other bees from going in, and because yellow jackets will get in there if you're not careful. That's why it's important to do it that way. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and put the other feeder on. Let's do both of them at the same time. Look at all of them find their way back into the queen. Isn't that amazing? I can't feed you if you're going to be in the way. There we go. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pour their feed in. Again, this is a organic mixture. And yes, we're going to have some that will not survive because they chose to go swimming. I'll put some more in here tomorrow. I just want them to get adjusted to it right now. Looks good. You notice they're coming in there to eat. They'll go down in there and they'll sip on it, and they'll come back out into the hive. Safest way to feed your bees. Now this seems like a lot, and it is. Anytime you're doing a beehive, you're going to, there's a lot of little steps. Now this is the telescopic lid, which will go right on top here. And it barely is telescopic enough to get over that feeder. It's a pretty good sized feeder. I'll take the camera around and show you the entire setup all the way around in just a moment. Yes, I dropped my knife. I'll get it in a moment. It's important to clean up after you're done. You don't want a a cluttered mess. Notice how they got between that frame and the side of the they're really wanting to build. Okay. I'll leave descriptions below where you can get these. And it being so hot, I'm going to be getting out of these garments very quickly and finish up the video here with you. Because I am hot. Again, the main reason for wearing equipment is so you don't get stung. I don't worry about it much. In fact, I believe that sometimes the stings actually help your health, but you don't want to get overstung. Now your top piece has an entrance and exit for the bees here as well, but they can't go anywhere because the feeder has them plugged off. Now once the feeder goes away, they'll be able to use that for an entrance and also the bottom for an entrance. This here will catch all the mites, where the bees will kill the mites and they'll drop them to the bottom. The bottom is screened, and this will allow you to pull this out, dump the mites or beetles. A healthy hive is going to take care of itself. You won't have to do much, but just make sure they're happy and they're having a great time. I'm going to pull the camera around so you can see the other side. It's very hot, so thank you for your patience. And say, you'll notice, let me just take you, I'm going to take the camera off of the stand for a second. Surprised the camera didn't overheat. You can see them making their way home, getting adjusted. These hives were built by Busy Bees, which are an Amish family. Very simple hives, nothing extravagant about them, just finger jointed box joints. Notice how their instinct knows exactly what to do. You see the ones that are flapping their wings and have their tail stuck up in the air, directing traffic. And they're going to do just fine. They're very much making themselves perfectly at home. This has white metal on top to keep it from deteriorating in the weather, and also reflects the heat in the summertime. They're trying to determine, is this the entrance, the crack underneath, or is this the entrance? They'll get their bearings and eventually they'll be 100% happy with whatever they're doing there. These have less of a crack at the bottom. Any crack that is 3/8 of an inch or bigger, they're going to go through it. If there's a crack 3/8 of an inch or less, On the inside, they'll fill it up with propolis. If it's bigger than 3/8, watch this one shake. See here? He's trying to tell them where to go in. See? That is a scouting bee. Notice he shakes when his head points downward. He's telling them to go down to the hole. That is a smart one there. He knows what he's doing. She does. They're all girls. She's telling them, hey, it's just down there, going down to the bottom. How many times do I have to tell you? And there they are. Look how beautiful these bees are. Going in. Going in. All right, we're gonna let them be, and they'll make themselves at home and enjoy their new mansion. Now I put this up this is on a slope, as you can tell, but I put this up on a very strong foundation. This will hold 3 to 4 hives easily. And placing them up off the ground helps a lot. A lot. So many people put them right down on the ground. I know that's easy to do. Just put them on pot pallets, pick them up with forklift, move them around. But these are not going to be forklift around. These are going to be permanent structures. So that's what we want to do, is keep everything permanent. These are not going anywhere. Very good.